guess I should start. I'm going to start showing you a video which you may or may not have seen.
So ladies and gentlemen, at TED we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not two nuts, 3 is a crowd, and the crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So, notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So, over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So, first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy who was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that at TED. Thanks.
So, I have been in the position of being both the lone nut and the first follower. I'm actually a better first follower than I am a lone nut. I also have quite the guts to be a lone nut all the time. And ridicule just hurts. And you get plenty of it. I'm curious, I'm going to talk to you about a range of things. We're going to talk about stories, we're going to talk about marketing, we're going to talk about traction, and we're going to talk about some beliefs, and probably a bit about branding. And I haven't got all that much time. So I'd like to get to know you a little. I'd like to know sort of why you're here. Now, maybe just a few shows of hands. Who here wants to go and be employed in their dream job?
James, can we put our hands up? I work here, but I'm going to put my hands up.
And then, who of you here want to actually start a business of your own? Excellent, excellent. Now, your dream job and starting your own business will never be the same thing. Okay, just so you know. Okay, you can't have both. A lot of people will tell you can't have both, they're lying. The truth is that your dream job and starting your own business have very different vectors or very different success, or impacts that they have. And they can both make you happy and miserable at the same time, but they're rarely, in fact, I think as I said, it's impossible that they 100% coincide. Particularly because when you're running your own business, it's just so damn hard. And then, who here just simply wants to make an impact on the world, make a difference? Let's put your hands up higher, right? I want to keep them up, right? Who here just wants to make a really big difference in the world? Okay, good. Now, you see, you can't really make a great big difference in the world like this. You know, you really got to like, right, yes, I'm going to make a big difference in the world. That's really, let's see, you've got a channel, right? You know, think of, you know, if you have a hero, like a real hero, channel them. They were acting as much as you'll be, so don't worry about, you know, plagiarism in that respect. But if you want to make a really big impact in the world, you've got to put yourself out there, and that means being really, really, really courageous. In order to do any of those things, you need to do a bit of marketing. You need to do a bit of branding work. If you're going to achieve anything significant, if you want to have a first follower, you've got to tell a story. You've got to actually have a brand that your follower can follow. If you don't, then you're going to miss a trick, or several, because frankly I've seen plenty of business plans that have no story, no decent brand, and they get funded because there's some cute idea in there. And as a result, they fail, and all that money disappears. And I see that all the time. And it's funny too, you know, when you're building your brand and you're building your story, sometimes it's the thing that doesn't look great that is the thing. It's actually the thing that will really make your business fly. Who here has heard of Dropbox? Yeah, pretty much everybody, right? Well, I know for a fact that when Dropbox was first pitched, it was rejected many times because people thought it had already been done and it was a really bad idea. And there's a guy called Peter Thiel. He's one of the founders of PayPal. He sits on a board with me. He's a lot richer than I am, and he said something much cleverer than I'll ever be able to say, I suspect. He simply drew a Venn diagram, you know, two circles. And in one circle he said, it looks like a bad idea. And in the other circle he said, it is a good idea, or a great idea. And then he put a tiny little overlap between the two circles. And where the two circles met, in that little gap, where it looks like a bad idea, but in fact it's a great idea, that's where he's made nearly all of his money. And I would put it to you that Dropbox at the start looked exactly like that. And so did pretty much any of the great companies that have come out of the internet age. Amazon is another perfect example. At the time that Amazon was starting, everybody was decrying how bad the idea of online retail was. It looked like a bad idea. In many ways it still looks like a bad idea, and yet it is a good idea because it's succeeded. So to overcome the looking badness and to get the goodness out there requires that you be able to tell a story. Now, it doesn't really matter whether that idea is commercial. It doesn't really matter whether that idea is not-for-profit. It doesn't really matter whether that idea is you. We are all human beings. Your audience for your idea are going to be human beings. And human beings are programmed from a young age to listen to understand, to buy into stories. So if you don't have a brand for your idea, or don't have a brand for you, you don't have a brand story for your, philanthropic effort, there's a very good chance that it's not going to go anywhere. And do you know what the good news is? The good news is that developing such a story, the good news is that developing the underpinnings of that story, developing the brand, developing you, is almost entirely free. And the better news is that you can test it literally for free, and you can test it en masse. There are some wonderful ways of testing, by the way, just as a quick outtake. You've got Google AdWords, where you can find an AdWord, buy it for 1 cent bid, and you can put pretty much whatever you like as the advert for that AdWord. So find a fairly obscure word that is getting some traffic, but not a lot. It's very cheap. Buy the AdWord and put your message on it. And you can tell immediately you know, within, let's say, 48 hours, how many clicks you've got for that message. And then you can change that message, put it out there again, same AdWord, different message. Do you get more clicks? Do you get less clicks? If you got more clicks, probably a better message. That's likely. Another great one is Twitter. If you develop a following of like maybe just 300 or 400 people that you like that listen to you, it doesn't matter how you build the following, but if you get real people following you and you tweet out a message and you say, please retweet, and no one does, the message probably wasn't worthy of retweet. But if you tweet it out and it gets retweeted 1,000 times or it goes viral, woohoo! That's right. YouTube's another great place to test. Upload 10-second video. See if people pick up on it. Upload its immediate twin. See if they pick up on that. I did a recent test where I just bought some videos off Fiverr. Fiverr.com. Fiverr allows you to spend $5 to get someone to do something for you. And the offers of what they'll do for $5 are really quite astounding. So I got 3 admittedly attractive young girls for $5 to do 3 different scripts. And I put them all up on YouTube. I put 2 up on my own account, and I put 1 up on an alternate account, because I like to test these things. And one script got 85 views within 17 hours, and another script got 10 in the same time, on the same account with the same amount of promotion. And I can promise you that the 2 girls, they were equally pretty. So it wasn't just the picture, it was people listening to it and then people sharing it. So you can test your stories in a variety of ways. You don't even need to embarrass yourself going on camera to do so. There's a guy on Fiverr who will dress up as a hot dog in a hot dog suit, say 30 seconds of whatever message you like, for $5. Send you the file and you can put that on YouTube. I mean, we live in this information paradise in a way.